Hey there YouTube, I'm stuck in the past, as always. And, well today, we're working on my sprayer. Now it's a hodgepodge of things, so don't get me wrong, it isn't pretty. But it's pretty much done to completion. Just upgraded the booms. I don't know if you saw it in a previous video, but I used to have these little round deals on there, which were sort of working until I decided to drive in a straight direction, in which case they folded straight back. So, with this, we actually have a little more rigidity. Plus, I can set the nozzles right in, and it works a little more efficiently to run it all the way it is. Today's task is going to be to make runners, I think they're called anyway, or I'm going to call them runners because it's my thing, so there you go. Basically, what it's going to consist of is some more of this steel made in sort of a box shape, so that when I go onto this platform with these forks, it'll just slide right on and I can pick it up and go. So I'm going to put 4 of them on there. I've already got one cut out, and they're all going to go on these cross members. So there'll be one there, one there, one there, and one down here. And I'll probably put some kind of foot in the back so that it doesn't tip backwards when I'm not hooked up to the forks. That way I can set up the sprayer and go, and also drop it off really quick. Since I'm using electric sprayer tanks, I've actually got a controller box I made that's going to run both of these pumps, and I have tested it and it works really well. The one pump runs this boom and that one down there, and unfortunately only runs around 20 psi, but it seems to atomize good enough, I think. And then this boom runs a full 40 psi, which is really good for those 180-degree nozzles. And I cover a span of about 17.5, 18 feet. It's a little small, but for what I'm going to be doing, I think it's going to be a good start for maintaining the hay fields. So let's get started on this. I'm going to go ahead and weld this guy up and see what it looks like when it's done. Mock it up, and if it looks good, that's what I'm going to base it off of. So with that done, that's our rig. So I'm going to probably build 2 more of those, and we'll see how they work. I'm going to set this one underneath here real quick just to make sure that it's going to fit, which I'm pretty sure it will. I measured twice and only cut once, so hopefully we're in luck. So that took a little bit of finagling, but we got it. So that's where it's going to sit, just like that. You can see it under here. And it lifts it up off of the forks just far enough so that I should be able to slide real easily under there. And the tolerances should be tight enough that it won't be sliding back and forth a lot either. So I think this will work great. So I'm going to build the rest just like that. And another thing, I know my workbench is a mess. It'll probably drive some of you crazy. But you know what they say, a clean workbench means no work's getting done. Or whatever I justify at night so I can sleep. Getting a little small. So with all those cut, now we're going to go ahead and weld all them up, and then I'll probably end up figuring out a way to flip that over, and then I'm going to weld them all up on the bottom, and that'll be done. So now that I've got them underneath of the actual frame and underneath of the forks, I'm going to take a marker and mark where they're supposed to go, and then for the back ones just measure where they're going to go based off of the marks from the front ones. And just like that, they're on. So I guess now we're going to have to see if it'll work. So let's go ahead and give her a test. Well, there it is, all mounted up. So I think that's going to work pretty good. My tolerances are a bit tighter than I thought they were going to be, but I think in the end that's not a terrible thing. It'll keep it from moving around too much. So even if I have to slide it on by hand, that's fine. This thing's very light, so I can do that. That allows me to use this carry-all for yet another thing. So let me see if I can get these tanks on here real quick, give you an idea of what the whole show looks like. Well, there she is, all put back together. So between the two booms, in the center section, I got about 17.5, 18 feet, and about 50 gallons of capacity. They're both 25-gallon tanks. This tank, it'll run this hose and this hose. This one goes to the center. This one runs to this boom. And then this tank runs just this hose up to this boom here. All of it's wired in so that I can put the controller on my fender with a magnet and control them independently. And they plug into one of these universal plugs that I've got wired into the battery box right here. All in all, that's it. She works well. It's just getting by with what you got, really. So, a couple of months from now, we'll see it in action. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Stuck in the Past. The sprayer's done, for the most part. I got to go through it a little bit yet. And it's pretty much ready to roll. So hopefully we'll be seeing that in action here shortly. So hopefully you enjoy these videos of romping around in the shop. For the most part, this time of year, it's what we're going to be doing. But we might be going to pick up some equipment in a couple of days. So just tune in for that. Some pretty cool stuff coming to the farm. So until then, have a great day. This has been Stuck in the Past. I'll see you on the next one.